Have you ever been in a relationship where you gave everything? Your time, energy, love, and even your very soul, only to realize that it was never enough for the person on the other end? And in the case of a narcissist, you may have given everything and more, only to have them discard you without a second thought. But here's something you need to know. While the narcissist may believe they are the one in control, the truth is, they will regret your absence forever. Their self-centered nature, their obsession with power and control, and their inability to maintain authentic connections will ultimately lead them to experience regret on a level they can't even comprehend. And by the time they realize what they've lost, it may be too late. In this video, we'll dive into the fascinating and painful reality of narcissistic relationships, exploring why the narcissist will ultimately regret losing someone like you. Someone who saw beyond their false image, someone who could have been their emotional anchor. We'll take a deep look at the psychology behind narcissism and how it impacts their ability to connect with others. And as we discuss these topics, we'll also explore how the absence of someone who truly cared for them will cause long-term consequences that they may never fully recover from. But before we dive in, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more videos on navigating narcissistic relationships, and share this video with anyone who needs to hear this message. We are all in this together, and your story is worth telling. Let's get started. Now that you're here, ready to dive into this powerful topic, let's really get into why the narcissist will regret your absence forever. If you've been involved with a narcissist, you might have felt like you were nothing more than an object to them, something they could use and discard at their whim, without a second thought. You gave them everything, your trust, your time, your love, and your care. You poured yourself into them, nurturing them, hoping they would recognize the depth of what you offered. But what did they do with all that? They didn't value it, they didn't nurture it, and eventually, when they felt they had no more use for you, they pushed you away or discarded you altogether. It's easy to think in the moment that they don't care, that they're happier without you, or that they've already moved on to someone else, someone they believe is better. But here's the truth, narcissists are incapable of truly moving on, no matter how much they pretend to. Narcissists are deeply dependent on validation. Their entire sense of self-worth is built on a foundation of external admiration, attention, and praise. They cannot function without the constant reassurance that they are superior to others, that they are the center of attention, and that they are deserving of adoration. However, underneath all of that, they know the harsh reality. No matter how much praise they receive, they will never truly feel fulfilled. Their sense of worth is hollow, because it is entirely dependent on external sources. They cannot fill the emptiness within themselves with anything real or lasting. This is where you come in. You were the one who provided them with something real, something genuine, even if they never truly appreciated it at the time. You were a source of emotional depth, someone who genuinely cared for them, and you gave them the validation they craved. You were there when they needed someone to feed their ego, to prop up their fragile self-image. But despite all of this, they used you, abused you, and when they felt they had drained everything they could from you, they discarded you without hesitation. Yet even though they may have thrown you away, your absence leaves a deep, unfillable hole in their life, and nothing or no one else can replace what you gave them. When you decide to walk away, the narcissist is left with a sense of loss that they will never openly admit to. On the surface, they might put on an act, showing indifference, trying to convince themselves that they don't care, that they're better off without you. They may even try to convince others around them that your departure means nothing to them. But deep down, in the quiet corners of their mind, they know they've lost something irreplaceable. They know that no matter how much they try to fill the void you left behind, nothing will ever truly replace you. They may go out and try to find someone else to fill that gap, to give them the attention and admiration they crave, but it will never be the same. No one will ever love them the way you did. No one will ever see them the way you did. And no one will care about them with the same depth and emotional investment that you did. This realization, even though it's buried beneath layers of pride, ego, and denial, will eventually seep through. The pain of losing someone who truly saw them for who they were, who loved them for what they could offer, and who believed in their worth on a deeper level, is something the narcissist will carry with them, even if they never openly acknowledge it. The narcissist may tell themselves they don't need anyone like you. They may convince themselves that the next person will be just as good, if not better. But in their heart, they know that no one will ever come close to filling the unique role you played in their life. It's not about finding someone to fill the void with superficial attention. It's about the genuine connection you shared. Even if they refuse to admit it, even if they continue to seek out new sources of validation, they will never be able to recreate the specific bond that you once had. And that is a bitter truth they will struggle to accept for the rest of their lives. In time, the narcissist may seek out new relationships, new sources of validation, new people to manipulate and control. They may even briefly find someone who seems to meet their needs, someone who fills the immediate gap. But nothing will ever compare to the emotional depth and authenticity that you offered. The narcissist's inability to form truly deep, meaningful connections with others means that every relationship they enter will ultimately be shallow. They may wear a mask of happiness, pretending to move on and leave you behind, but the wound they carry from losing you will always be there, lurking in the background. Every new person they bring into their life will remind them, even if just subconsciously, of the loss they experienced. They will always be haunted by the fear that no one will ever love them the way you did. And that thought will linger, no matter how many others they try to replace you with. At the core of their regret is the realization that they are not truly capable of experiencing the love and connection they need to feel fulfilled. They may never be able to fully grasp the depth of what they lost, but there will always be a part of them that knows it. The narcissist is forever on a quest for validation, forever seeking something outside of themselves to fill the emptiness within. And when they lose someone who once gave them the validation they so desperately craved, they are left with a deep, painful emptiness that nothing else can fill. Their ego may never fully recover, and the scars of the past will follow them wherever they go. In the end, no matter how much they try to move on, the loss of someone who truly understood them, loved them, and validated them in ways no one else can, will leave an indelible mark on their soul. And that's when the deep regret starts to creep in. The narcissist, faced with the reality of losing someone who once played a pivotal role in their life, will begin to scramble. They will desperately try to manipulate, control, and guilt-trip others into stepping into the shoes you once filled. They might even try to recreate the dynamics of the relationship they had with you. But the truth is, it will never work. No one will ever be able to replicate the level of sacrifice, the kind of unconditional love, or the boundless patience that you offered them. You gave of yourself in a way that no one else can. You offered them emotional support, validation, and presence in a way that was unmatched, and they will never find that again. This is when the narcissist will start to truly comprehend the weight of their past actions. Even though they'll never fully admit it, the regret will start to seep in, but it's not born of genuine love for you. It's because they realize the supply they relied on is now gone. The absence of your validation, attention, and emotional support will begin to eat at them. They will understand, albeit reluctantly, just how much they depended on you to feed their narcissistic needs. Your presence in their life acted as a constant source of fuel for their ego, and now that it's gone, they'll feel a growing emptiness that they cannot ignore. However, here's the most important truth to grasp in this situation. By the time the narcissist finally begins to realize the magnitude of what they've lost, it's usually far too late for them to do anything about it. The damage has already been done. They will have burned so many bridges, destroyed so many relationships, and alienated the very people who could have offered them support, comfort, or guidance. In their blind obsession with trying to control every aspect of their relationships, they have pushed away the one person who truly cared for them. You were the one who gave them something real, something genuine, and they failed to recognize it while they still had it. This is the bitter truth that underpins the narcissistic pattern of behavior. They don't realize the value of what they have until it's gone. And even then, after the realization sets in, they are often unable to fully process or admit it. They might feel a sense of loss or regret, but they won't be able to genuinely take responsibility for their actions. Instead, they may try to shift the blame, rationalize their behavior, or blame you for leaving them, never truly coming to terms with their own role in the destruction of the relationship. The narcissist's inability to recognize the importance of the people around them, while they have them, means that they will always be one step too late in realizing what they've lost. By the time they acknowledge the emptiness they feel, they will often have isolated themselves too thoroughly for anyone to be able to help them fill that void. Thank you so much for watching this video and exploring this painful yet empowering truth with me. If you've experienced the narcissist's discard, if you felt the sting of their absence, remember this: they will regret losing you forever. The narcissist's inability to form authentic connections will eventually catch up with them, and they will be left to live with the consequences of their actions. So hold your head high. You are worth more than they ever realized, and your absence will weigh heavily on them long after you've gone. If you found this video helpful, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, share it with others who may need to hear this message, and subscribe to the channel for more videos on healing from narcissism.